What was the biggest highlight of the quarter for you?
Our overall take is that there was more good than bad from Walmart's first quarter, with 3 important points. First, while the sales results in the U.S. Walmart business were slightly lower than what was hoped for, the e-commerce growth at 37% was really solid. 2, the gross margin in the U.S. was a clear highlight for the quarter, up 6 basis points, which was the first increase in recent memory. And that puts them on good footing as we confront a host of headwinds in the quarters ahead, like tariffs. And 3, in the company's prepared remarks that they published this morning, they came out forcefully talking about how they're going after the e-commerce business on several fronts, such as next-day shipping and a burgeoning advertising business. Those are important points.
I'm wondering if you get the sense from Walmart that they would be committed to defending margin, and I mean that in 2 ways, in terms of raising prices on consumers as a result of the impact of tariffs, but also on the e-commerce business. For a lot of bricks and mortar retailers who are really pushing hard into e-commerce, they're willing to make less on margin for those e-commerce dollars than they are for the dollars that they bring in the store.
So let's uncouple those. First, on the tariff front, that remains a big unknown. It will depend in part on what happens in the marketplace. We suspect a lot of these are going to be passed along to the consumer in the form of higher prices. They're also going to go work with their vendors overseas and try and negotiate better terms. So that remains an unknown. On the e-commerce front, what they're going to have to get right is the mix. They said this morning they did better in home and apparel, which are higher margin categories. So that's an encouraging sign. However, it's still a nascent business. As it becomes a larger portion of the total, it's going to be a drag on the overall profitability, and that's something they're going to have to manage through.
You got a price target of 105. We're about $3 away from that, Michael. So, I mean, if you keep it here, it's like saying the stock is almost dead money for the year, for the next 12 months.
Yeah, our call is that we think the stock is a nice defensive play in an uncertain time, but its valuation is full, trading at more than 21 times this year, and if they grow earnings slightly, maybe 20 times next year. So those 2 factors are going to offset each other, and the most likely case is that the stock remains range-bound from here.
Michael, EDLP, Walmart's maniacal about. They want the consumer to know that product after product after product, like overall, you go to Walmart, you're going to get your best deal. The tariff situation, to me, is more a question of what are their competitors going to do so that Walmart maintains the image in the consumer's mind, and that's what EDLP is all about. Chiseling into the consumer's mind that you can be sure of one thing, in and out over a long period of time, you're going to get a better deal at Walmart than any place else.
Everyday low prices.
Everyday low prices. Correct, Michael, or not? Or am I wrong in that conclusion?
No, you're right, Ken. They're going to maintain price leadership for sure. They referenced that in their published remarks this morning. It just makes the situation a little bit more complicated as prices are going up. They will maintain their lead. That's an incredibly important part of their business model.
In your coverage universe, which retailer is the most vulnerable to tariffs?
We think the most vulnerable retailers are those in the home furnishing space for 2 reasons. 1, a lot of their products are subject to the tariffs, and 2, it's a very competitive space, so there's less pricing power than other areas of retail.
All right, Michael, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. Michael Lasser.
You can't believe the amount of furniture that's manufactured offshore.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? That's, to me, that's all gone.
So all the brands like Stanley, like all that Henry Dunn, they're all made over there and just slapped on the.
We made a deal with Emerson Electric many years ago, 20-some years ago. They had a plant in Paris, Tennessee that Sears shut them off just like that. We went in and we negotiated with them, and they gave us the Rigid brand for products other than plumbing. Rigid was a plumbing